Hey, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Tiffany, and we'd like to celebrate the many mom badges we as moms earn every day. So if you're hiding from your kids like we are, you are in the right spot. Welcome to Mom Badge Podcast. Today's mom badge is I heard a horrible birthing story. That's right, we're getting dirty asking the question, why do we as moms feel we have to share our birthing story with every mom, especially if they are expecting?
Now, just really quick right here, we're going to give a mommy trigger warning. So if you are expecting and have not yet experienced the joy of birth, you may want to just pause this episode right here and wait until you get that baby out of you. Otherwise, if you feel really good about it, you can continue on. But we are going to be talking about horrible birthing stories and why we share them, why we feel the need to share them. Now, just with that warning, we are now going to move on.
Okay.
All right.
That was a great warning. And if you guys hear Rachel's little bundle of joy in the back, it's because we're moms and that's just how our life rolls.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Hey, Rachel, I do have a question for you, though.
Answer.
You were very recently pregnant.
Ugh. Don't remind me.
Did people tell you their terrible birthing stories this last time?
Okay, so no, I actually didn't get terrible birthing stories this time around. Or maybe, oh my goodness, this baby. Maybe it's just because, like, it's number 4, you know?
Mhm.
But I remember especially when I was pregnant with number 1, like, people would just come out of the woodwork and tell me these terrible things.
Yeah. Well, I was super lucky when I was pregnant with mine because nobody had babies yet in my circle.
Yeah. Well, no, okay, so with my first, it was actually my manager at work who had never had children, by the way.
Hey,
yes.
Not fair.
Yes, she had never had children, and okay, I'm going to tell the story because it was like, why the fetch would you tell me this story? She was like, oh yeah, I never want to give birth because when my mom had my brother, okay, his foot was stuck in her rib and they had to break her rib in order to get the baby out. Yes, and I'm like sitting here like, I'm about to give birth. I was extremely young. You know, I was 21 when I had my first. And so I'm like, this is, And little did I know that was just the beginning. Like, I had never experienced birth yet. And why on earth would they tell me that story, you know?
Why? I don't get it.
I don't even know, like, to this day. Okay, I have had 4 children. How did the foot get stuck in her ribs? I don't know how that happened.
That sounds like something that they would write in a movie to scare you.
I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like a horror film.
It really does.
Yes.
That mom, though, can use that guilt for that child forever. Forever. I hate to say this, but I get birthing stories because of my face.
Oh, yeah. So, in case you don't know, Tiffany has this face where she will be anywhere. I went to a restaurant one time with her and her mother, and apparently her mother has this face too. So I was at the restaurant with Tiff and her mom, and a man came up and shared his entire life story and some super inappropriate fantasies that he has about women. And so Tiffany has this face. She'll be at the grocery store.
And let's
People
just
share
say
stories.
That restaurant story, we were the only ones in the restaurant, and he came from across the room to talk to us.
Yes.
He wasn't sitting next to us.
No.
He came to us. And yeah, it happens at grocery stores. All I can say is my face is my secret superpower, and people feel super inclined to tell me absurd, embarrassing things.
Oh, gosh.
No matter where we're at. So, and when my husband's with me, it's especially fun because you just love hearing about a botched epidural C-section
in the
grocery store line.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're like, oh, she's so cute. How old is she? Let me tell you what. I had this baby as a C-section, and they botched my epidural.
Why?
You can't escape a grocery store line when there's people behind you, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so
Mhm.
sorry.
I don't know how to stop this
I
conversation. Oh my gosh.
I and I almost feel like your birth story is just this badge that we wear.
Yes, that we can share.
hmm
Yeah.
If I have nothing to talk about with another mom, I already know that they might have given birth.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I don't know if
Well,
that's the
even
reason,
like
but
my mother-in-law, she's adopted a lot of children and she always talks about she feels like the adoption process is like giving birth.
oh,
So,
so painful. Yeah,
if
I
you
could
are a
see that.
mother who has adopted, then that is your birth story. You have given birth
You
because man, that
have.
stuff is rough adopting kids,
It
you
it
know.
is. We just had a sister-in-law who went through it, and
Mhm.
you need to take that time and heal just like every birth.
Oh yeah,
That's for sure.
giving
That is for
giving birth
sure.
to an adoption. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, and the fact of it is, like, even though we've all had these like things happen to us, where we're like we're growing this beautiful thing and our
Yes.
bodies are doing this amazing beautiful thing and
Mhm.
like our ankles are swollen and we can't see our knees. Um,
Yeah, still
but
can't.
then like what I've totally shared like my terrible birthing story, with people, and
Yes.
I don't know if it's just because it's like, my dad's
Yeah.
cooler than your dad, my dad can beat up your dad. I don't know if it's like one of those situations that you're feeling as you're like at a baby shower and there's this beautiful mom who's pregnant and glowing and you're just like, oh, this is going to be so wonderful for you. Just wait until you get to the birth. It's going to be
Have
awful.
Have you seen how big 10 centimeters is?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, why do we do it? I can't figure it out. You
I
know,
don't know.
I there are some really beautiful women out there who are like, "Oh my goodness,
S-
this it's such a beautiful experience and I want to see what my
Yes.
body can do." And for me, I'm just like, I don't
No.
care what you do, just get it out. You
My mom
know?
was like that.
Oh, was she? She would be.
She had my uncle's video recorded, her
Wait,
brother's.
it was your uncles that video recorded it? It wasn't just like on a
Yes.
tripod. There was a man that is her brother
That is
standing
her
there recording
brother
it.
recording it.
Tiffany has the terrible original, the OG terrible birthing story because her mother had her
Had me
watch.
Well, she had me in the room, and in all fairness, my mom hired somebody to take me out of the room if I got scared.
Oh, really?
And when I was scared, the lady was already enthralled with what was going on.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't really remember much about it, to be honest. I remember hitting my head on the metal table because I was like trying to run, because my mom's sitting there screaming. She was
Yeah.
giving birth to a 10-pound, 10-ounce baby
Oh my gosh.
without drugs. She deserves so many awards. I
No,
can't
that's a
even tell
badge.
you.
That's a
Oh,
badge.
that's a
Yeah.
badge. No,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
And she was just enthralled with what was going on. And honestly, my mom still she thinks this was like the greatest thing for me to see, because then my brother became my baby.
So we asked our Instagram community, hey, why do we share our terrible birthing stories?
You know what? We had a great answer from Moms on Overtime. They're another podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, OMG, great question. I don't know. It just happens. And then she said, I feel like I always say mine because both were so different.
Mm-hmm.
One, I had some complications that made my recovery and experience so different than the first one. I think I tell it because it's proof that you can never really know how it will go, even if you did it before. And I actually totally agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about you, Rachel, but when I gave birth, I had this idea in my head, probably like what to expect when you're expecting.
Uh-huh.
You know how they have like the 4 different births going on at the same time? Well, there's this mom in there and she's like, "Oh, was that a contraction?" felt like nothing. It tickled.
That tickled.
Yeah. And I seriously thought that birth was going to be like that in my head. This
Yeah.
whole romanticized thing that was going to happen. Nobody told me about mucus plugs. Nobody told me that your back could feel like it was being tortured by 1,000 little demons. Nobody told me that it was going to be as painful as it was. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. How do you feel though? Do you feel like each birth was different?
Totally. I definitely felt like the last two were my easiest. In fact, I feel like number 4 was my easiest. And I think it was because I kind of knew what was going on and what I could do, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
my first, and I have really easy deliveries. I have super horrible pregnancies, but really easy deliveries. So I feel like
There's a trade-off.
there's a trade-off, but definitely my second was the worst. It was almost like an emergency C-section because they had to use the vacuum to get him out because he was so big. And so, again, this isn't one that I'm like, yeah, let me share this everywhere, but I have shared it at a baby shower. What is my problem? You know?
Okay, so Reddit actually asked this question, and somebody answered, and it's like my favorite answer I've ever heard, and it was from a husband.
It was from a man?
It was from a man, and he
Oh,
said...
he must be so great. Let's shout out to him. Let's give him a dad badge.
Dad
He gets a dad badge. Yeah.
He gets 1,000 points.
Yeah. He gets 1,000 points.
So it was a quote from Coca-Cola's 2009 friend husband. He said, "You'll never hear a birth or labor story that isn't traumatic because women are pushing out humans. Every birth is going to be hard, but you get a squishy bundle at the end and it's okay again." And I'm like, yes, that's exactly right. You're just, once you go through it, you're like Wonder Woman, I feel. Like, you're like, I just made this human come out of me. And
not only did I grow it, but it came out. My baby just clapped for him.
I would like to invite all the moms out there to join Rachel and I as we go down what we call the mom internet rabbit hole.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is where Rachel and I find interesting news stories, mom hacks, or just about anything that makes us giggle as we try to surprise each other and you with what we found. So, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, so I actually have 3, and they're all weird places people have given birth.
Oh, no.
So, and I picked these 3 for a very specific reason. The first 2 go together, and then I want to discuss the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is from People magazine, and this lady gave birth in a ChickfilA store. In 2018, they made a pit stop on their way to the hospital to meet up with a family friend so she could drop off her 2 daughters.
Oh, no.
And she decided to go to the bathroom before going, and she ended up having the baby.
Oh, no.
In the bathroom.
This I do have to say, out of all the bathrooms at a fast food place, I think Chick-fil-A would be the one that I would be most okay with, if I had to choose,
Let me tell you what Chick-fil-A did.
Oh,
They are not only offering a guaranteed job to her daughter that she had in the bathroom when she turned 16.
Yeah.
They also are giving her free food for life.
Oh, to the baby or to the mom?
I'm thinking the family. It was for both of them.
Oh.
I just thought, Chick-fil-A, you are doing it right.
They really are. I have a love for that place.
The thing is that I almost want to get pregnant and have a baby there for the free food. So I'm wondering if this is going to become a destination thing.
I wonder. If they're going to offer this to everyone, this is like spa treatment almost. It may be worth it just to give birth in the bathroom at Chick-fil-A. Can you imagine, the employees being like, who's going to clean that up?
That's when you say, I'm not paid enough. This is above my pay grade.
Yeah, I bet that they had to have a special team come in because that's like bodily fluids. Yeah, I think they would just have to call like a
A
special
service?
person. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what about the kids that had to go to the bathroom while she was giving birth in the bathroom?
Well, they'd use the men's. There's an exception to every rule.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I think once like the yelling started, I think people would just maybe leave, right? Or were they like waiting around the bathroom and like clapping as she made? I mean, seriously, there are so many questions I have about this.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and I keep thinking like after you have the baby, because you can't eat while you're in labor at the hospital. But that first thing you have after you have the baby, I swear, you're going to be like...
tasting thing on the planet.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have a Chick-fil-A menu there.
Yes.
Do you think that she got like something good off there?
Probably.
I mean...
Maybe she went for the more expensive grilled sandwich with the lettuce and tomato. I get that on special occasions.
I don't know. They have that salad.
That salad's delicious too.
But
I don't want a salad after I've given birth. Man, if I deserve something fried and delicious, it's right after I give birth, okay?
Okay, so no lie, after I had my baby, it was like, Tuesday, I hadn't eaten since dinner on Tuesday. So I didn't eat all day Wednesday. I didn't eat all day Thursday. All I could have was ice chips.
Oh my gosh.
And... So the nurse, after I had my baby, the cafeteria was closed. And she's like, we found a side salad in one of our refrigerators.
Yeah. So I will have to say, after I had number 4, husband went out and bought me sushi because we are sushi lovers.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I couldn't have sushi my entire pregnancy. So yeah, so he went out and got me some sushi.
Handed over.
Delicious.
I'm telling you, the first thing you ever eat, like no matter what, after you have birth, is the best thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can have a tuna fish sandwich, and it's like the most delicious thing you've ever had in your life.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. So my second fun birth is at Six Flags. A lady took her daughter, noticed something was off, and before the EMTs could come, she had her baby.
At Six Flags?
At Six Flags. And the reason
at Six Flags? Like, did she make it in somewhere, or is she just sitting on a ride giving birth
She
to that
was
baby?
in Hurricane Harbor, which I believe is their water park.
Oh my gosh. I mean, maybe it was cool. Were they misting her with mist or something?
Were people swimming? No,
oh, no.
Sorry. There's not enough details.
There's not enough details in these articles. We need to know these things.
Were people swimming in the amniotic fluid with her?
Oh.
The reason why I'm telling you about the Six Flags, I liked this story because Six Flags gave both the baby and the mom a Diamond Elite membership, allowing them to enter any Six Flag parks free for the rest of their lives. So that's why I'm sharing this one, because again, they got something for having a baby in the most inconvenient place.
Yes. So
she was in the first aid post.
Oh,
she was in the first aid post. I just saw it.
Oh, okay.
She said something was off.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Oh, I just hope her water didn't break in the water.
Oh.
Does the chlorine kill it? Can somebody answer us? Leave us a comment.
Yes, just for my own peace of mind. The chlorine will kill it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is my last one, and this one is one I have questions on.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. This
is my question, though, before we get off the Six Flag topic.
If
you give birth at a Six Flags, or even a Chick-fil-A, would you really want to, like, step foot into that establishment again? Like, would you just hang your head in shame? Or would you just walk in being like, I own this place? You know?
I would have pride.
Yeah.
I'm woman enough. I didn't need anything. I needed the Chick-fil-A bathroom.
Yeah. Yes. I gave birth in this very bathroom. Give me my free sandwich.
Oh,
you know
what's even better is when your child starts asking where they came from. You have places to go, or like when they're like, why do we always go to Chick-fil-A? You'd be like, because this is where you came into the world, son. So this last one,
Okay, let's
though.
discuss it. Yeah.
Yeah, this man and his wife had planned out the delivery of their baby, which, by the way, the fact that they wrote planned out the delivery of their baby,
Is laughable. Yeah.
laughable. But their plans were derailed on the way to the hospital when the husband was pulled over for speeding. So they weren't given a ticket, but now their timetable was cut short. And the wife warned her husband that there was no way she was going to make it to the hospital.
Oh no.
So he chose the nearest sorry. He chose the nearest parking lot and called 911, and it was a strip club.
Oh no.
Okay, this is my favorite part. Bouncers kept the growing crowd at bay. No longer were patrons interested in the show inside, but were focused on what was going on outside.
This poor mother. Oh my gosh.
It was free entertainment, let's be fair.
Oh.
Okay, here's my question, though. Would it ruin strip clubs for you as a gentleman? I mean...
I just can't even... This is so... Was there, like, no other place? He really couldn't find any other place.
Okay, in all fairness, he was probably panicked.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah. So...
I mean, did they have, like, a towel that they could, like, put up so that she wasn't, like, bearing herself to all these nasty men?
Well,
like...
I'm hoping the bouncers just kept them away.
Yeah.
It says the bouncers kept the growing crowd. It was a growing crowd.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. He was given it, yeah. It was outside, at least.
Yeah. Oh, sick.
But, like, that's a serious question. Like, do these men want to go back to a strip club now that they've seen what birth looks like?
I don't know. Oh, wow.
I mean, okay.
There are, like, no words. I can't even right now. Are you ready to hear what I found? So this is a story that has haunted me for years. Years. So my husband's good friend gave birth to her baby in the car. And this is one of those, like, I would never have thought of this. You know, like, when you get out of the car after you've had the baby, like, you're not wearing anything. You know, like, she had to take off her pants.
So the lady in ChickfilA was naked too?
Yes! I mean, like, so after I heard this story, like, anytime I knew that I was going to give birth, I always wore a dress because of it. And so there is a Parents Magazine article. There are things you don't think about, like if you're giving birth in the car. Like, this mom gave birth in the car, but the hospital wouldn't fill out the birth certificate form for her because the baby wasn't born in the hospital. And so it's like, you know, it's already traumatic enough. Can't we just make life easier for these poor parents?
What
like,
the heck, hospital?
That this Parents Magazine article, I was like, wow, I can't believe they didn't help her fill out the birth certificate form.
Yeah, why would you make that harder? So they were in the car on their way to the hospital?
On their way to the hospital. And she gave birth in the car, which is already traumatic enough. She couldn't get the birth certificate at the hospital.
Come on, hospitals. You need to do better.
I know, for real.
Oh.
Like, and that just raises a question, because I kind of had some high-risk stuff going on with me. I had to give birth in a hospital. Like, if you give birth at home, you know,
what do they say?
Is there, like, questions of, like, oh, was this baby born here? You know, like, what do you have to do? Hey, all you moms out there, please answer that question for us, those of you that gave birth at home.
And if you gave birth at home, was it majestic?
Yeah. That's what I wonder.
Like, I don't know. I wish we had somebody on here. Well, this is what we're going to do. You leave us a comment that you'd like to be interviewed, and we will do a show on home births because we don't get it.
We don't know. We haven't ever been there. So, yeah, so those of you that are super brave and hide your baby at home, on purpose or an accident, please let us know. We want to know
Yeah,
about it. We want
I
to
want to
hear.
know.
Yeah, we're curious. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're just curious cats over here. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that's the end of our rabbit hole that we went down. Some of those things are super scary.
What do you mean?
I I don't know. It makes me like super happy that I am not pregnant. So, even though Tiff and I really haven't answered the question, we've generally discussed it in our meandering way,
Well, you
you
know,
know.
let's answer it right now. Why do you think people share their horrible birthing stories?
I wonder if it's one of those like, yep, that is my badge of honor. You know,
Yeah.
like I
Yes.
survived that, and maybe we share it because we know that other women can survive it too.
You know, wear those birth stories with a badge of courage, but keep it in when you see a mom who's expecting and let her go through it herself.
Yeah. I think the best thing we can say to those moms that are expecting the first time, just it's beautiful, it's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful, it's hard,
Yeah.
but you'll never remember it afterward because you do get the
Well,
squishy little happy baby at the end.
I don't know. I remember most. But
Yeah.
you
Well,
just
no, I
don't
mean, it'll
care.
be okay.
You
You
don't
know?
care about what
Yeah,
you just went through because the end result is so amazing.
it's true.
Here's my question. What should expectant moms ask so they
Mm.
don't get it? The whole story? Maybe start out with
Mm.
what were the good things?
Yes. Well, yeah,
Like,
and how do you stop that person that's like about to be like, hey, they had to break my pelvis in order to get the baby out, which I haven't ever heard that story. You shouldn't break your pelvis.
that sounds
So,
terrible.
it's terrible. Pelvises are hard to heal. Um,
Uh, yeah, you don't want to, you're already doing trauma down there anyway.
oh, it's all
Ugh.
traumatic anyway. It's going to be
So,
traumatic.
if
Yeah, so
somebody
what
is,
can we say to like
yeah.
lambast that person? I
So
don't
if
think.
somebody's talking to you and they're starting to share a story that you're feeling uncomfortable with, you can do a couple of different things. And this is just from my experience.
Tiffany's really good at this, guys, by the way. So listen up.
So you can either deflect it and say something like, "Oh, well, aren't you just so happy with that bundle of joy?" You can be brutally honest and go, "I'm so sorry, but I'm about to give birth and this is making me really uncomfortable. I would love to hear it, but let's wait until we can swap stories." Just
Mm-hmm.
be nice. They usually, when women want to share something, they just want to feel heard and respected.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just kind of like just you change the subject. You don't have to be like, "Stop talking. I don't want to see your face. All I can picture is what's coming out of you and I don't want to see it."
Don't want to know.
But
Yeah.
I mean, and I have friends who you have to be like that too.
You can even start out at your baby shower because it will be at your baby shower that people share like these horrible stories. You can even just start out and say, I would love to hear your birthing stories later.
Yeah.
You know,
And
just not today, please.
I've been to a baby shower. I don't know if you were there or not. But anyway, they were handing out candy bar rewards for these birthing stories and they'd ask questions like who had the longest birth? And then somebody would raise their hand and tell the birthing story. And I know the person hosting the party it was all in good fun.
Yes. Yes. No, I mean, I think maybe what would have been better at that baby shower is if they're like any like birth advice that you would like. Like if they ask the mom to
Yeah.
be any birth advice. Because you know, you read those parent magazines and they're like, "Oh, at this you should bring this, this and this, like
Your
your own
music.
sheets." Oh, I can understand your music. Like if you're giving birth
Oh,
and you want to hear your own music, I get that. But you should bring your own sheets. Like who's
yeah.
why
Who's
are
going to
you going to
remember
bring
that?
your own sheets?
Why would you want to take that home?
Why would you first off, yeah, why would you want
Who
that? Why would
who
you want
said
to
to
take it
bring
home
their
and
own
then you have to
sheets?
wash it? You
Who
know,
said
like
that?
it was in a birthing magazine that I was reading. Yes.
Okay, who edited
Ridiculous.
that magazine has never given birth. Why
They
would
don't
you
get a
want
mom
oh,
badge.
oh,
Mm-mm.
oh, oh.
Yeah, bring your own sheets to have because then it could be more comfortable for you. Okay, and then there's like bring like ridiculous things that you're like, that is never needed, you know? So, I mean, I feel
Yes.
like maybe if the mom to be could ask questions like, hey, what is your birth advice?
So I always imagine these moms that are just starting out who, like I was the first mom in my group. We're starting our tribe. We're
Yeah.
starting this community of women and of who's going to help us raise our babies. Let's start them off on the right foot.
Yes. Yes, please.
Let's give them the encouragement they need. Let's send them text. You are an amazing woman and you are going to do great.
Yes.
I know what you're going through is really hard, but
Mm-hmm.
you're strong and you got this, mama.
Mm-hmm.
Simple things we can do
To
instead
help
of
each other.
terrifying these young women.
Yes. Like if somebody was like, can I come and clean your bathroom for you?
Say yes,
Ma'am,
moms.
say
Just say
yes, please.
yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Can
there's
I come and do
things.
your dishes while we
Oh,
chat? Oh,
say
I had a friend
yes.
do that, and she gets a mom badge for it.
But as fun as birthing stories are, I did have fun talking about them and I enjoyed the laughs we shared. Ladies, we want to hear from you on Instagram or Facebook or even email, and we want to know what your stories are. Leave us a comment. Just let us know. We want to know. We're curious about you. We want to be your friends. Does that sound needy?
No.
Okay. Also, don't forget to tell your friends about this podcast so that they can laugh with us and all the insanity that goes on. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and please leave us a review so other fantastic moms like you can find our podcast too.
Today we earned our I Heard a Horrible Birthing Story badge.
So moms, as we leave you this week, hold your cookie dough high.
And wear those mom badges proud as we salute you and all the hard work you do.
Be sure to come back next week on Mom Badge Podcast.
And find out what badge you've earned.
Yes, and if you didn't have this badge at the beginning, you have it now.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for coming, and we'll see you next week on Mom Badge Podcast.
See you then.
Bye.